Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah.
Thanks, Otto, for joining us. Hey guys, I'm back from fishing. It's been a long 2 weeks of sailfish madness. Otto reckons they're small, but it was still good fun, me fishing with the boys. I got Otto here today. Otto is actually a rep for Rapala now. He used to own Otto Volz
In Drummoyne, Sydney.
in Drummoyne. You started the business, huh?
I did, correct?
Yeah. So Otto started the business. You know, when you go eBay and you see the guy selling the cheapest Shimano reel is Otto Volz, it's not really him. It's actually his old shop. But Otto started the business and stuff like that. Thank you, Otto, for coming to my live show. It's a really great honor to have you here. Big name in the industry. Okay, so everybody that comes to my show, Otto, has to answer this question, right? Okay. What was your first memory of fish? Where do you catch your first fish? Your first memory. Your first fish, what is it? And how do you catch it?
My first ever fish was a redfin at Lake Eildon, and it was that small that a kookaburra came and took it from me.
So you didn't catch the fish, you got to land the fish.
No, I landed it.
Did
the
Lena
kookaburra
touch?
came and took it afterwards.
What
And
was-
just, we haven't had to ask this before, but what year was that?
Oh, 1990? No,
1919.
Oh, I think that was about 1975.
1975. Man, I wasn't even born yet.
Oh, well.
Okay. Okay, so also another thing too. So, I mean, we know that you're what are you? Are you a chairman or something for some Gold Coast Fishing Club?
No, I'm the ex-president of Gold Coast Game Fishing Club.
The ex-president of Gold Coast Game Fishing. But you were also president of a fishing club in Sydney for a long time?
I have been president of Sydney Game Fishing Club for 8 years. I was president of New South Wales Game Fishing Association for 4 years. I was on the Rules and Regulations Committee of the Game Fishing Association of Australia for a number of years.
Okay, so Otto, what's your favorite form of fishing? I mean, you're obviously so into fishing, so what is your favorite form of fishing?
Oh, well, I think marlin fishing would have to be top it off.
Okay.
But everything in between, catching the bait to go marlin fishing is good fun too.
Okay, cool. So, do you fish a lot in the Gold Coast?
A reasonable amount.
Okay. So, do you actually do marlin fishing in New South Wales? Do they actually catch marlin in New South Wales?
The biggest competition in Australia has always been run out of New South
Oh,
Wales.
sorry. I mean, I don't catch marlin, so I really got no clue. So they actually have marlin comps in New South Wales. The biggest competition is there.
Yeah, the biggest competition in Australia always used to be run out of Newcastle Port Stephens. Last weekend in February, first weekend in March. In the last couple of years, the president, Gary Chenoweth, and his committee have changed it so it's run for 3 days only. I think it's the first weekend in March.
Okay. So Otto, so you've caught marlin. What is your biggest marlin you've caught?
Oh, well, it was tagged and released, so call it what you like, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, like, well, what do you think?
It was probably 800 pounds.
800 pounds. So you've caught 800-pound marlin, and I swear you must have caught bass and whiting and stuff like that. What is your next bucket list fish that you love to catch?
Well, I've been a little bit unlucky in some of my forms of fishing. I've never caught cobia, believe it or not.
Cobia. I actually caught the cobia. I caught like, how many cobias did we catch? Got like 3 or 4 cobias in Malaysia. You should come with us to catch cobia. It's really, really good fun.
I've seen plenty of them caught.
Yeah.
Me and one other guy, a mate of mine, Bobby, fished on one boat one day, and Bobby landed about 7, and every
caught
time
0.
Every time it was my strike, I got something else other than a cobia. So yeah.
Okay. So cobia, not that hard to hit, honestly. I'm just
for
driving
most.
it in. But okay. So what made you actually? Okay, I mean this is another personal question. Like I really don't want to ask so many fishing questions because everybody asks fishing products, and everybody comes to shows and they do products and they try to sell stuff. But we really want to know the real Otto, right? So Otto, how did you start this Otto Tackle World? Like why would you wake up one day? What were you doing before? Why would you wake up one day and say I want to start a tackle shop? What happened?
Well, I've sold fishing tackle for a long time. I started working for Complete Angler in Melbourne in 1982.
Okay, I was alive then. I was
Yeah.
born. Yeah, I was probably like 3 years old, but yeah, I was born. Yep.
And I went from there. I got offered a job in Sydney as a sales rep, working for Jarvis Walker, who was pen distributors at the time.
Okay.
And through one reason or another, that opportunity dropped out for me. So the only option I had without having any qualifications or skills or whatever, was to open my own tackle shop,
Okay.
which I did in 1991.
And when did you sell your tackle shop? So how long were you running it for before you sold it?
Oh, I'd like to say 20 years, but I sold it after 19 years and 10 months, so I don't even get to say 20 years.
Okay. So who do you sell it to, and how did you sell it? Like, what happened?
I sold it to Louis and Carla Lengyel, and they just walked in one day and said, "We're here to buy your shop."
What do you say?
I said, "That's interesting, it's not for sale." And yeah, obviously the reply from Louis was, "Everything's for sale at the right price," so he was right.
So you obviously ripped him off.
You always do what you can, mate.
So do you actually regret selling, do you regret selling a baby, like your tackle wall, like your franchise? Did you regret selling it? You miss it?
Oh, look, some days I miss it, for sure and for certain, but there's other days when I come and see retailers such as yourself, and I see people checking on their phones, on the internet, pricing and whatever, and
they see your name on on eBay?
Yeah, they're hammering you for $1 on every lure and whatever, and yeah, I don't miss that, so...
Okay.
Yeah.
But Otto, so how do you feel with your name, Otto Tackle World, on eBay, and you're not really there? How do you actually feel about that?
I think it's pretty cool, because growing up as a kid, I copped a lot of flack about being called Otto. So yeah.
Why were you called Otto anyway? What's the story behind
It's
being
a
called?
name. It's a name my parents gave me.
Oh, they actually gave you a name,
Yeah.
Otto. They obviously don't like you that much, Otto.
Obviously not. But and so I copped a lot of grief on my name, all my life about my name.
Was it a short form or
No,
like
no, no,
Ottovian or something like that?
No.
No. It was really Otto.
It's Otto, yeah. It's an Italian or German or Austrian name. It's quite common. But yeah, so when Louis and Carl wanted to pay to take my name,
Yeah.
I had a bit of a giggle at it, and as you can probably appreciate, the finer details of the sale were negotiated at the pub in Drummoyne.
Yeah, okay. It's something that you obviously frequent a lot.
Not the one in Drummoyne,
Yeah.
living on the Gold Coast, but yeah, I've been known to go to a few pubs in my day.
Okay. So after selling the Otto's Tackle World, what do you do after?
Oh, I had a brief jaunt for about 5 years, I think it was, in a car leasing industry, and yeah, although I earned more money leasing cars
Then what are you doing now?
than what I'm doing now, I actually took a wage reduction to come back and
To Rapala?
sell fishing tackle again.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you landed the job in Rapala? Like, what happened?
How did I land the job in Rapala? I actually rang up the general manager and said I'm going for a job elsewhere in fishing tackle.
Yeah.
And
Is that Damien?
That's Damien.
Oh,
Yeah,
Damien. Hi, Damien.
Purvis. Hi, Damien. And
I won't be too hard on him.
yeah, so I actually rang up Damien because my resume was a little bit outdated. It went back to
1920s?
1987 was my last resume, so I thought I'd better update it.
I thought you had to write it in like Sanskrit or something.
Yeah, so I rang Damien and I said, mate, if I'll put you down for a referee, and if people ring you, can you put in a good word for me? And he said, oh, I won't tell you who I went for the job with, but he said, why would you go and work for those idiots when you can come and work for me?
Yeah, and how did it go? Awesome. I mean, one of my favorite reps is Otto. Otto has the uncanny ability to come to my shop when I'm broke and still get money off me. I don't know how he does it, but he has never walked out of my shop without selling me something. Have you not sold me anything?
I'm sure I must have at one point in time.
He has never. Like, honestly, he visits me every week. I was just telling Scott, like, I'm almost like his bank. He's like, oh, you know, I'm short of 3 grand sale. I'll go see Ivan today, and bam, you just get 3 grand, 4 grand out of me. I don't know how it happens, but Rapala did the right thing, hiring Otto for sure. You know, as a sales rep, does a really, really good job. One of my best friends in the industry. Yeah, Otto. So another thing I want to say is like Rapala has been doing. I mean, like, okay, I know I don't want to talk about fishing stuff, but it is ultimately a fishing show. I've seen. I mean, you've sold me a lot of Rapala stuff, right? So
Yep.
you want to talk about some of the new lures Rapala is coming up with?
Oh yeah, obviously Rapala, like most big lure manufacturers, brings out a whole new range of stuff each year.
Yeah, for after and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually had a worldwide release after this year with a couple of new models. This one in particular, it's called
Don't poke yourself. No public liability here.
XR Mag Prey, and it's
You might have to put it a bit closer.
Yeah.
it's about the size of a small pilchard, but it weighs 41 grams. It's a lipless stick bait, but it's got a flat bottom and flat side, so it actually flutters perfectly horizontal on the drop. And it's got full wire through construction, heavy duty VMC hooks, perfect for schools of tuna and mackerel and stuff. Straight out of the box, no need to stuff around with most Rapala.
What is the rough retail price on them? If you have a look, they are about in our shop. They're like $29.99.
Yeah, that's about what you'd expect to pay for them around the place. Yeah.
Okay.
You can buy cheaper Chinese copies and things, but yeah, as I say, you don't need to upgrade anything on this.
I love them because they are pretty heavy and they are really good for the upcoming longtail season. Like, you know, you cast them in the shallows for things like coral trout or even longtail. You know.
Oh, they cast like a
They
bullet.
cast like a bullet. Yeah, they really do. So this is the prey from Rapala. Okay, cool. Anything else? What hooks are they? What hooks are they equipped with?
VMC spark points.
VMC spark points. Really strong hooks. Do you think that you should upgrade them for longtail, or you think they're good enough?
No, they're 3 extra strong the way they are, and all VMC hooks are made in France, so you can be assured of the quality. If you check the welds on the trebles and stuff, VMC is very famous amongst lure manufacturers, whereas not quite as popular out to the general public. But
I think VMC as a brand, they do not, like, a lot of people don't know about VMC hooks, but VMC hooks are actually sold a lot in the trade to other lure manufacturers. So they're really strong hook, reasonably priced. So for the kind of money, it's always a good hook. You know, VMCs. Yeah. So they do come in VMCs. What's the next one, bro?
Well, the next one we actually
ripstops.
Last year we had a ripstop. Sorry, 2 years ago we had a ripstop in a 9cm shallow diver. And then last year we brought out a 12cm shallow, which is this fella here. This year I was hoping we'd have the deep one. We grabbed the wrong one off the wall, but there's one that dives between 1.5 to 2.5 metres. The thing with the ripstop, as the name implies, it's got like a boot system on its tail, so you can jerk it and it slows down. It doesn't continue travelling forward. So effectively, like if you're fishing for barramundi or something, it stays in the strike zone in the snags longer. And all Rapala lures are basically rated for fresh water, so it says that it's a suspending lure. It actually floats in
very slow
float. And for those guys that fish for flatties in the shallows, you know, you twitch and it just dead slow rise, and that's when they get it on the rise.
And also a lot of you boys, right, this is actually a deeper model, right? So a lot of you boys also upgrade the hooks to decoys or VMCs or whatever, and sometimes the extra weight in the stronger hooks does stop it from that slow rise, and it actually makes it more into a suspending lure. So if you really want to tweak your lure, you can always change it, upgrade the hooks. Of course, if you're chasing jack, upgrade your hooks, or we do sell some sticker weights that you can actually put onto your lure, and you can tune your lures to how you want it to swim. Yeah, but the best thing about the ripstop, which is the really special thing, is you see it's got a tail at the end, like, you know, and that actually gives it like almost like you're driving a car and somebody slammed the brakes. It just stops when you stop reeling in or twitching. So it's a really pretty cool feature. So yeah, so really cool lure.
The hooks that it's fitted with are perfect for things like flathead and whatever, but if you still want to have that exact slow rise, you can take off all 3 of the trebles and just replace the front and back and drop away the middle one.
Okay, so if you want to
extra strong and still have the same perfect horizontal rise.
Okay, cool. And for all you boys that actually fishing and wanted to float a bit even quicker, maybe even take out the center hook, you know, and then it should actually float a bit quicker for those boys chasing flathead, obviously.
Correct.
Yeah, cool. And also, guys, if you guys need to ask Otto any question, right, make sure you type it in so I can ask him while he's here, right? So yeah. Okay, what do we have next? Oh, this is like a full sales, Rapala sales pitch thingy.
Oh well, I just some of the stuff I sell is well, it's almost like a secret. You know, people don't actually appreciate
Yeah,
it.
but you know what? That's because, to be honest, not many people know this stuff, and also not a lot of reps. I mean, actually explain what they're selling and what their lures do and stuff like that. So yeah, cool.
Yeah. Well, we sell VMC hooks, as you've probably worked out, the fact that I've been pushing them, but just the standard O'Shaughnessy hook pattern is the 9255, and it comes in the permasteel finish, which...
So this gang, they're actually O'Shaughnessy hooks, but people don't understand this, right? They are so easy to make into gangs. Nobody knows how, and Otto showed me the first time he brought them in, and Otto's going to show you how to actually make them into gangs. It's unreal.
Yeah, it's quite a funny thing. Most amateur fishermen don't realise it's just a standard sort of O'Shaughnessy pattern, but yeah, I didn't know myself. Some of my customers on the mid-Queensland coast were selling them to commercial mackerel fishermen, and the commercial mackerel fishermen love these things. They just put them together, spin it, so you've got the eye facing here, and unlike my little office hands on it, there we go, you can pop it together as such. Sometimes if you really give it a big squash, you might do minimal damage to the barb, but yeah, you can just get a blade behind and lift it off. But the commercial mackerel fishermen fish it the way it is. And you can imagine how easy and quick that is, just to pop a few gangs together, and it actually works out cheaply.
I just want to ask you another thing to Otto. Is it just the 9255s O'Shaughnessy, or all the O'Shaughnessy from BMC does this?
Just the 9255.
So 9255, the numbers are here, 9255 models. You can pretty much gang them yourself, so that's a really cool tip.
Yeah, and make them obviously as long as you like. You know, 2 for snapper. I don't like to have too many hooks for snapper, but if you were to fish for, you know, with a long skinny garfish or something, you could pop 4 together.
4 together. You know? Yep. So you can actually custom make the length, you know, 2 or 4 or 3 or whatever. So pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
Otto wanted to show you guys.
And they're not expensive. This is $12.
Is that cheap or is that expensive?
Oh, they're $4 everywhere else. No, that's a good price. $12 for 25 hooks.
Man,
when it's made in France.
Yo.
Yeah, no, and they've, as I say,
Can you
they've
sell me
got,
a pack for $4?
they've got a permasteel finish on them, so they take forever to rust, you know. And yeah, fishing in saltwater, it's a pretty hostile environment, so yeah, they're a great product.
What hair gel? Sorry, Joseph asked me, what hair gel does Otto use?
This is a la natural.
Oh, natural. Yeah. Otto and Rapala also, I looked at some of the videos from after they are releasing some new lures, right? And I think you brought some with us. What are they releasing? Like, can you show some?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've got a couple of. We actually had some larger hybrid baits last year in the Pito and the Pito and the Otis, and basically the same lure, just with a different tail assembly. Last year we had a 20 centimetre version and 23 centimetre version. They're just same model, except the tail's longer than the curly tail one. So now we've brought out a 14 centimetre one and a 17 centimetre one, but again, it's slightly larger than your average pilchard. You know, everything eats pilchards or fish that size. This one's actually a rainbow trout colour, but as you can appreciate, just on a dead slow retrieve, that has a side-to-side body roll, a bit like you.
Yeah, I got a body roll.
Friday night.
Yeah, no, every night.
And it's also got the tail wagging at the same time. That one there, so and it's a dead slow sink, so it'll be perfect for around the pontoons for jacks. Come the next few weeks really. And although we haven't landed the stock, they're due in about 1 to 2 weeks. I'm sure the guys targeting, you know, trophy flatties. It's a perfect size for them. You know.
They do come in the bigger size too, don't they?
They do come in the bigger size.
But so the new size are a new release. The smaller size are the new.
The smaller size is the new release. The problem with the bigger size, like any larger size lure, yeah, like a large swim bait or something, they're double the weight.
Yeah.
You know, and when your average flathead is, you know, under 50 centimetres,
yeah,
when you've got to use some thumping big swim bait rod to wind in a 50 centimetre flathead, they're not known for their great fighting prowess, so it's a bit of an overkill. So something like that, I think that's down to like 40 grams, so you can cast with your average rod now, you know, and yeah, you still get the fight out of the fish without having to use some big thumping thing for it.
And what about this one? What is it called? Otis.
The Otis, yeah. Having the curly tail, it's a slower sink again because the tail reduces the sink rate. but it also has, because of the tail, it has more of a body roll also. Basically, for most applications, the curly tail one will be more for freshwater, and the paddle tail will be more for impoundment barra, and Saratoga, and also obviously saltwater applications being a paddle tail. And they come with a spare tail in the box, so yeah, you can get spares if need be.
And how much do they retail for, roughly?
Well, they're yet to hit the market, but I think they're probably going to be around between $32 and $35.
Oh, okay, it's not too bad.
Yeah. It's on the money for a quality product.
Yeah, for sure. Rapala, one thing I love about Rapala and also Storm and stuff, you know, that's made in Finland, Rapala? Still made in Finland?
It's made in Finland. Sometimes the hooks and stuff are put on in Estonia or somewhere like that, where before I stuff up in my current employment, I might get sent over to pack lures.
To put hooks on rings.
That's it.
Yeah. So, you know, one thing I love about Rapala lures is every lure you pull out from a Rapala packet always swim right. You know, it's none of this Chinese stuff that you buy. Sometimes you buy them and it doesn't swim right, or, you know. All the lures are always guaranteed to swim right. So
if you ever have a Rapala that doesn't swim, we'll just replace it, no questions asked.
But it never happens.
No, but they must have odd days off, you know. Friday afternoons late or something after coming back from the pub. The manufacturing plant might make a little mishap some days.
So Otto, I just want to ask you a few more personal questions. Okay, that's enough of all the technical stuff. I just want to ask you for another few more questions. So what do you see yourself in Rapala in the next 5 or 10 years? Like, where do you see, like, what do you see, you know, do you see yourself looking for Rapala for 5-10 years, or do you want to do something else, or what's your plan in this fishing industry? You want to be president of another fishing club? What do you want to do?
I've been in politics and game fishing, in fishing clubs since I was 19. I've been on committees, so I reckon I've had about 4 years not on a committee.
And was it better to be not on a committee, or better to be on a committee, or?
Like being on most committees, it's a thankless task when you cop criticism for the work that you do from people that don't do the work. So best avoid it a lot of the time.
But see, a lot of us, we do this because we just love the things we do, you know, and a lot of times we do this because, you know, we take our time to do stuff like that, and people don't realize, you know, that a lot of these things that you guys do on the committee and stuff like that is really 100% voluntary.
Oh, absolutely, and you know, half the reason I got into that sort of stuff in the first place was, you know, people would, you know, I'd say, oh, you know, why don't we tag and release more fish or whatever, you know, and people would say, well, why don't you do something about it, you know, when you're in a position of power to do something about it, and you know, there's no point whinging about it if you can't have a go and encourage these things from a competition point of view or something.
Yeah, so it's true. So, you know, if you got an idea, what you're trying to say, if you got an idea, just do it on your own. Well, or lead anyway.
I led the committee of New South Wales Game Fishing Association that changed the rules for the use of hooks in bait for game fishing, and effectively outlawed J hooks. So effectively, on J hook, I think the survival rate at the time that we got from tag release program, and this is sort of anecdotal evidence. You can't really, unless you follow every marlin that's ever been tagged around with a mask and snorkel,
and find out where they are.
Yeah, you can never ever find out. But there was the recapture rate was a hell of a lot higher on circle hooks than it was on J hooks. So it was like 30% higher. So it was pretty well received at the time when we introduced this rule, because we came up with the statistics why you're better off using a circle hook, and it was a pretty proud moment, to be honest, for myself and my committee at the time, because if you looked into the numbers of fish that probably still swimming around to this day because of the rules we introduced, yeah, we did a great thing.
Yeah, I think it's very important too, like, you know, like Otto obviously chases marlin, and like I chases my trapfin and my jewfish. You know, when you actually start catching a lot of them, you start to have a big respect for the fish, and us anglers, we start to try to have the least minimal impact on the fish that we catch. So the, you know, re-releasing them and also catch and release and tagging them to us, the anglers, is very important. So yeah.
Well, most lure caught fish are mouth hooked, you know, so they are easier to release. You know, if you can appreciate a J hook caught marlin.
In the stomach.
Yeah, it's the same. You know, like the average bream caught off a wharf on like a standard J-style hook. Half of them, it's down their guts.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, but if you catch one on a lure, he's hooked in the mouth.
Pretty much.
You
Especially
can
a circle hook is designed to be hooked on the lid. Yeah.
So you can let them go in a lot healthier condition most of the time.
Yeah.
You know?
And also I've got Robbie. Robbie's asked me a few good questions, right? And also I don't know what we're supposed to say about the other rod and reel brand that Rapala's got. But anyway, Robbie asked this question. Is Rapala looking to take on a little higher bait cast reel against Abu or the 13 or Liu's, you know? I don't know if we can make this announcement, can we?
We can make this announcement.
Okay.
Rapala International has actually bought 49% of 13 concept rods and reels. So, yeah, to answer Robbie, yeah.
So
we don't have to bring out a reel to take on the 13.
they just buy over 13. So
We bought 'em
Rapala bought 13 reels and rods, okay?
Yeah.
So the 13 rods and reels will be distributed by Rapala from when?
I'll be distributing them from next week. I'll probably be walking around with a 13 hat on.
Okay.
Rapala shirt and a 13 hat.
Okay, so there you go. That answers your question. Rapala has bought over 13. Big news if you guys don't know. So Rapala will be selling 13 rods and reels. So hopefully we can get some rods and reels in our shop. 13.
We'll have to see if you qualify as a
Okay.
13 dealer.
Get out of the shop. And then another good question that Robbie actually asked is, what is your favorite freshwater Rapala lure and why?
Well, I've done a lot of trout fishing in my younger days, and the original Rapala balsa minnow is just the an F05 or an F07 is the code, and in the RT rainbow trout colour.
Okay, you know what's my favorite Rapala lure? I actually started when Rapala was still using balsa, right? I mean, I really started fishing. My first fish was caught on a Rapala. Alright? It was caught on a Rapala, and it was a Rapala fat rat.
Yeah.
Oh man, they were made from balsa. I remember my first caught that I caught in Singapore is in Kallang Stadium, right? And it's in this little drain, and man, it took me 6 months before I caught my first fish on lure, but I did catch, and it was about a 2 or 3 kilo caught in the drain with a Rapala fat wrap. You know, I don't know if they still make fat wraps, but the original fat wraps were made in balsa wood, and then they went to plastic molding.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know what was my color the first lure? It was actually a fire tiger, bro.
Oh, your favourite colour?
So the first fish I caught on Rapala was a fat wrap on fire tiger color, made in balsa wood. Yeah. Do they still have fat wraps in Rapala now?
I think they still do them overseas, but the sort of that sort of heavier fat body has lost its sort of following here in Australia.
I think in Asia, right, those fat body stuff, we crank it for big cod. Like not Maori cod, I'm talking about estuary cod, right?
Yeah.
We call groupless, you guys call cod here.
Yeah.
They are really, really very dangerous for you know, cranking cod along the rock wall and stuff like that. So yeah, awesome Rapala lure. Yeah. Robbie just asked another question. This is going to be quite controversial. Are you going to confirm to customers that Rapala are also taking on the previous warranty for 13?
Well, on every warranty, if there is one out there, for sure and for certain.
Okay, so there you go. From the
Not that we like the warranties, but it's part of the.
oh well, you know, everything you sell, even I'm sure Shimano, Daiwa, whatever will have warranty issues. Yeah. So yeah, I mean definitely. Warranty issues is just part of the game, you know?
Yeah, we are effectively, concerning the rods, we're going to sell what we've got, and so we're basically going to sell out the existing stock of 13 rods in Australia, and then long term, and this could be 1 year, could be 2 years, we're looking at bringing out like a
Australian version.
Aussie tough version or something.
Yeah, Australian version, like a lot of other brands do. Like Shimano has brought out a lot of Australian version of fishing, and also Daiwa has a lot of Australian version fishing. So yeah, so 13 is going to bring out maybe in the future rods that are suited for Australian anglers.
More suited to our style of fishing. I mean, a lot of the 13 rods have particularly bait cast rods, they've got tiny little guides on them because the Americans, for
Yeah.
largemouth bass fish,
They fluorocarbon straight through.
with
Yeah.
no knots at all.
Yeah.
The first thing we want to do is put a leader on. You're going to have a leader knot going through, and they've got size 6 guides a long way up the rod, and whereas if you're using light leaders, that's okay.
Yeah.
But basically from here north, everybody wants to use 30-pound leader as a minimum, and clunks through the guides
Okay, cool.
for our style of fishing in saltwater.
Okay, so I'm going to wrap this interview up. It's quick, isn't it, Otto? You're like, Ivan, I'm going to stay here for so long now. So he's so quick, a few questions and our half an hour is up. Must be glad we can drink more beers. But Otto, I'm going to ask you this question, right? This I'm going to end it, and I end the live talk show always with this question. What do you love about this industry, and what do you hate about this industry?
Oh, I love the people you meet.
Like me?
Yeah. And
I'm sure you heard
and
a
I-
lot of things about me before you actually met me.
And I hate some of the people you meet too. No, generally, it's good just to work with people that have likes, basically.
Yeah. And so, with the things you hate, if you were to change anything in the fishing industry, if I give you the power to change anything in the fishing industry, what would you change? What do you not like, and what would you actually change? I mean, in general, like anything. Like you can say, oh, marlin fishing, I don't like how they pull it, whatever. What do you actually... If you got one power to change something in the fishing industry, or fishing practice, or whatever, what would you change?
I would just like to lift the profile or the image of the fishing industry and fishermen in general. In some circles we're considered almost bogans, some of us fishermen.
You mean like to the greens or something? Like,
to the greens or whatever,
Yeah. Actually, you know what? There's a really, really valid point because, the greens are like, oh, all these fishermen kill the fish and stuff like that. I'm vegetarian, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, when something happens on the water, we, the fishermen, are the first to actually take action about it, tell somebody about it, or, we are the first to actually change our behavior to solve the problem. Yeah.
The fishermen through the tag and release program, the game fishermen,
Yeah.
go out at their own cost, whack a research tag into a fish, right? Free of charge. They provide all this.
No, they actually pay for the tax. We actually have to pay for the tax, right? So we actually pull money out of our wallets to pay for research, for fish.
And the scientific information that comes back is invaluable. It really is.
Pretty much.
And if it wasn't for the fishermen using their own time and effort
And money.
and resources, resources and money, providing that scientific data, you wouldn't have half the data you've got on the fish. So,
That's right. That's right.
So we provide the research for our own. Fish.
So for all you greens, animal lovers, and I don't know, and vegetarians maybe, and the kind of people that go to the farms and do a strike so people can't buy cows, just log off. Anyway, thanks Otto for coming. It was a great pleasure having an insight of the real Otto. And guys, next week I will try to get Matt from Baramba Lures, one of my good friends too, to come in to have a chat. So he's got some new lures that are released. I don't know if he's going to be busy. I'm going to try to get him to come to our show. So I'll see you guys next week, maybe Wednesday, 6:30. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next week.
Done.
Done.